Alright, so this is the Lulu era tier list. And right off the bat, I'll tell you, not much change, so I'm going to use this time to talk about some of the nerfs to certain things and people exaggerating and all this other stuff. Anyways, Lulu. Lulu herself is awful. Just by herself, she's incredibly awful. She's on the average speed-esque thing, slightly faster, and everything else is awful. Her ganking is okay. She's got like several forms of CC. Polymorph isn't exactly like a stun or a hard CC. It's more like, and rank 1 it's pretty much useless. And then her ultimate is interesting. It's like if you use it on yourself, it doesn't do anything. If you use it on an ally, it does a lot. So the best way I can explain Lulu is she's awful by herself in every way imaginable. But if you assist her in both ganking and both, jungle wise, she can actually contribute to your team. So it's hard to actually grade her here. She's low tier because this is, taking into account their own abilities. But could she be a useful jungle pick? Well, that's still to be seen, no? We might find her being used. I doubt it in competitive. They might try her out just to see how it works out. Because, Alistair's been seeing more play. It's like, having two supports isn't always bad, and her ultimate is pretty game-breaking sometimes, so this one's still up in the air. I can't really say anything with just this short amount of time passing by, so she could be useful. She's bad at jungling, but she could end up being useful. Now, more importantly, the lifesteal and blue buff nerfs. Starting off, the lifesteal ones, I was more worried about those because they were a lot more gradual in testing. Like they were, they were a lot worse. Like instead of just 10% to 10%, it was down even more to 8% on Vampiric Scepter. Like you could actually feel it. And I was surprised they didn't go that down. I'm like, oh, so they changed their mind. It kind of went halfway there. So, okay. They aren't that bad. You can still jungle with Vampiric Scepter. They left Doran's Blade alone. So lifesteal for junglers, inconsequential. Wriggles is still good. Vampiric Scepter is still good. So nothing bad there. So don't panic about that just yet. Now the blue buff nerf. This is the one people are like, oh my god, Stonewall, it's big. It should affect some of these junglers a lot. Well, no, it doesn't. I mean, most of the junglers, even Skarner, in the first clear, they won't run out of mana unless they're being stupid with it. And like the blue buff being nerfed isn't so much a nerf early on as it is later on in the game. So early on, it's pretty much unnoticeable. There's really no damn difference. So, and besides, you're donating your second buff and your other buffs to your teammates. It was more a nerf directed at middle lane or whoever gets the blue buff. It's so they don't get insane during the lane phase, during mid game, or during late game. So in fact, it wasn't a nerf to junglers because you barely will feel it even on a jungler like Fiddlesticks. And I know I jungled Fiddlesticks and Maokai and all those other mana guys. They didn't feel it. It's aimed at middle guys, at the middle laners. So blue buff didn't affect junglers, and you probably should stop asking me for Stonewall. You got to remake Skarner because of the blue buff nerf. No, I don't. No, I don't have to remake anybody. It didn't do much of anything to the junglers. So don't panic so quickly. No, that's probably an impossible thing to ask or expect. Now, Shyvana got two nerfs. Her resistances from her ultimate and then her W got a quote-unquote bug fix. Now, immediately people said, oh my gosh, she's slower. Why'd you take away her speed? Well, being the kind of person I am, I waited to see the changes and to actually test it out before, I jumped the boat. Or jumped the gun and jumped on the bandwagon. Turned out, yeah, they're full of shit. No, she didn't slow down. She's still just as fast. Because, she beat spawn timers before. Like, she would get to a camp before they even spawn, and she'd have to wait there 2, 3, 4 seconds. The thing is now, yeah, it might take her one more hit to kill certain monsters, like the lizards. If she's alone, keep that in mind, if she's alone. And she's going to take a couple more shots from certain other monsters. So, like, she'll still be arriving on the camp as they spawn, so she didn't lose any speed. She lost health. She takes more hits from the monsters. Therefore, it isn't her speed that got hurt, it was her health sustain. And she's had no built-in sustain, so obviously, she'll feel it. So, again, her speed wasn't hurt, her health sustain was. Even then, that's the easiest thing to fix. Just get a leash. And then, Shyvana you'll just feel like Shyvana had no nerf at all. Nothing even changed. Except on her ult when that comes to be. So Rammus has been getting nerfed and nerfed and nerfed again. And then he'll probably get buffed sometime later when people stop using him. Okay. So, he's bound to get a jungle video, one of the first jungle videos to be remade. Though, of course, in a real game you want a leash and assistance. It's funny though. It's like they're nerfing him all around and just making his weaknesses weaker without actually, aiming, like targeting at what makes him, strong. His ganking and his transition into a tank. It's like they might as well just rework the character because they're never gonna balance him out this way. Like he'll either be strong because because he can jungle and then gank hard and then become a full-on tank. Or it'll be crap because he can't jungle and he gets crippled and then he dies when he ganks and doesn't do anything. So it's probably time for him to get reworked, or they just got to figure out what they're going to want to do with him. Because it's kind of sad to see him be, go from being underused to overplayed to underused and overplayed again. Like, yeah, we've seen that with other characters and they usually get, reworks too. Withholding all previous bias towards Shaco, because you guys know I hate him. Shaco's always been an interesting character towards the game. It's like in tournaments, he sucks and dies. We don't know what's gonna happen with the Koreans because they seem to really like Shaco. The thing with Shaco is he ganks a lot. He does all that good stuff, and he wants to murder you, but you can just play safe and he won't touch you. If you pick a jungler that can deal with Shaco, then Shaco can't even counter jungle. So, you might be behind because you can't do a lot of the stuff you normally would want to do, like play aggressive or push the lane. But come the time of team fights, Shaco himself will be almost useless because he didn't get ganks, he didn't get to go snowball or anything. So, you may be weaker, but Shaco's out of the game. He can do some things, but he'll probably blow up and die or be forced to just side push and not do much without farm or, kills. So that's what some teams have done. And you saw that in the tournament too. They just ignored him and then he became useless. Though the Koreans seem to really like Shaco, so we might see some Shaco play. And, this entire thing I've been saying will be completely useless. We might figure out a trick of playing them better. And yes, Shaco is going to get his updated jungle video. Because, he needs it. Because, the other one has been obsolete for quite some time. So, Shaco, if you, you shouldn't always ban him. I mean, you should ban him in solo queue, but versus winning your teams, you might think twice. You could easily deal with him. Now, Sejuani's pretty underrated and underused. I mean, there is no doubt she does need a little bit of tweaks here and there. Nothing too major. She, ultimate needs a cooldown reduction. She might need a defensive steroid on her W or, increase on the range of it, maybe something. But she's not as bad as everybody makes her out to be. Nautilus came out, and Nautilus is basically Sejuani in a different skin. However, they're still different in ways. Nautilus has hard CC, no doubt. His hard CC is harder to land, though. There's skill shots, and his ultimate may only hit one person. I mean, hit person, it's going to hit them no matter what, but it may miss everybody else. Sejuani's skill shots and their slows, there's no hard CCs when they're really strong slows, but her ultimate is better, and that you toss it, slam, hit everybody almost instantly, frozen stunned. So they're similar, but not exactly the same. Nautilus is hard CC up the ass, but difficult to actually get it done, especially in the chaos of the fight. Sejuani's more reliable and in the fray and all that other stuff, but she dies faster. So there's pros and cons to both of them, and much like there was pros and cons to Nautilus and Maokai, and Nautilus is no doubt better because his hard CC is always better than slows. But Sejuani is underrated, and I kind of want to see what matchups I would want Sejuani in the team. Not versus junglers because she'll lose, but against what opponents? When would be the good time to, say, Sejuani would be a good time here. I want to test that out. Because, while Nautilus may likely be better against more teams than Sejuani's got to have something. So I want to find that out. and her stuff may change if I discover anything. I may not be the one to discover anything. They might, the turning players might be, and then I'll observe them. But whatever. Sejuani needs another chance and another look. And speaking about characters that are similar, Amumu, who is almost exactly the same thing, same functionality as Nautilus and Sejuani. Just, there is different. Damn it, right. Okay. Anyways, Amumu. Yes, Tank Amumu is pretty much obsolete now. He's outdated. Doesn't, won't get as far as he used to. Will die faster in team fights if he doesn't get ahead, all that good stuff. So he's a little, a little outdated. He could use a nudge or just something. So that's why I've opted to use AP Amumu. People forget that AP Amumu actually hurts a lot. The problem with AP Amumu is he dies really quickly. So if anything, I've opted to use him as an explosion, like an explosive initiator. Run in there, initiate, start headbutting things, and then die almost instantly when they, decide to take revenge. But if my team, initiates alongside me, the enemy team's already really hurt by my ultimate and my AoE damage barrage, that the follow-up should finish them off or clean up. So yeah, he's basically a grenade. And he doesn't jungle slowly. This is what people don't realize. Amumu actually speeds up. Amumu clears quickly, destroys the jungle, farms it really well, and he's a lot more sustained than he used to be. And now that the minions actually give him, slight mana back, it actually helps him out in his first and second clear. That is ridiculous. When he gets his regrowth, he's got no problems clearing. Just one in W, and then the rest in E, and you'll notice just how safe he is in the jungle. How you can start off red, then go to blue, and then clear. You can do things to stop counter junglers. And I am gonna upload a video of me stopping a counter jungler as a Mumu, tricking them into doing nothing. So there. It's like Mozart said, "Hell hath no fury like a well-thrown grenade." Gragas has been one of my favorite characters throughout the entire game. I played him before people even realized he was good. Yes, I'm wearing my, hipster glasses when I say that. I played him AP when people said it was bad. I played him AD. I jungled with him. I was support. I was hybrid. Hell, you could still find all my old posts on GameFAQs about it, probably. I love the character. He was so diverse. The reason nobody used him, despite the fact that he was really powerful, is because he came out like crap. Remember, he was bugged as shit, so no one could do anything, even if they were good. So when they fixed that, people kind of just forgot he existed. Anyways, when Locket was discovered to be good, even though a lot of people already knew about that, it got nerfed. But they eventually nerfed Locket. But before they did that, they nerfed everything else about Gragas. They nerfed his ratios on his abilities. They nerfed his W several times. They kept breaking Gragas, and then they finally removed Locket without restoring back his AD prowess. Of course, AP turned out to be still the same thing and powerful as hell, but people ignored the fact that he was even a good AP. Even though I knew that. But his AD part was broken, and therefore his jungling was very, very hurt. He used to be a god-level jungler. So now that his AD counterpart was hurt, he couldn't jungle as effectively. And they haven't ever restored that. So he still has some issue jungling now. He's not bad. It's just his AD form is outdated, is surpassed by other junglers, and there's not much reason to use him. So I'm trying to see one thing. It's it won't increase his jungle prowess by himself, but I'm thinking if I can make him into a team type jungler, like an Alistar or something like that, where I throw support items on him, throw support-ish AP items like a Rylai's Scepter, and Abyssal Scepter, and all that other good stuff. If I toss those things in there, give him a regrowth pendant, make it into Reverie, make him that kind of thing because his ultimate's still awesome. Maybe I can justify him as a jungler, make him a support Auto Whore character that abuses his ultimate. Because his ultimate's still one of the best in the game. I'm thinking, if I can make him like that, I could justify having him as a jungler. And that's something I'm looking to experiment coming the following weeks. Hopefully I get a chance to actually use him, because my team sometimes would go, what the hell, and whatever. So, like Lulu, he could have potential as this, as this form of jungling.